Hello everyone, welcome to episode 9 of season 2 of the Yarnivore podcast. I know it's been a while. You're going to have to forgive me on that. I was very sick. I'm still kind of sick, but I'm not very sick. Like, seriously, there was a week I did no knitting. Or anything. Like, I laid there like a lump, unable to do 90% of anything. But, yeah, better now. A bit, and starting to get back to normal. It'll be a while. I probably won't be normal till the new year, but we don't need to go into that because this is a knitting show and apparently turning into a partially cross-stitch show, so I hope you don't mind. Works in progress because I have no finished objects. None. I had great intentions, but none of that has materialized thus far. Fleamageddon continues. In the meantime, we have pretty much decimated the numbers. It's boiling down to taking everybody into the vet to get the Comfortis or whatever, the Spinosad, and it's not cheap. I can tell you that from experience. When I moved here to the States, I had to take them all in and get them all, like, the rabies, all the vaccines they needed. And that was expensive. And it's probably going to suck that bad this time around. Maybe more, because I had a really good vet in Regina, and here I don't. And here they don't seem to be as, I miss Saskatchewan lately, and that's probably not a good thing. I was supposed to go home, but I was too sick. I was too sick to go home, which just gives you an idea of how bad I was. But I have done some knitting recently, so let's jump right on into that. The stuff is allowed to be knit again that I had previously stuck in the freezer. Actually, I took the yarn out, put it in Ziploc bags, I froze them, I laundered the bags, and so they got new bags, and once I'm done knitting them, they're going to be washed in exceptionally hot water, but not agitated, with some natural components that kill fleas. Because I'm neurotic, okay? If this was lice, it would have been taken care of, but fleas are just a whole new ballgame for me. I'm gonna stop talking about that because I know it makes some people's skin crawl. Just saying. Best laid plans. So this is not showing true to color. It looks kind of green. It's actually a golden yellow, but it looks green in this light. And I'm sorry, I have my aught light giving me some natural light. I'm backlit from my majestic closet of awesome, but okay. It's the Pacific Northwest. Do you know what it does? It rains. There is no sun. No snow, but no sun. Just rain. Which is cool for me. I don't mind. But when you're lighting, it does make it hard. Plus, this room really doesn't get a lot of natural light. It's primarily our bedroom across the way faces outwards, and there's no blocking. Here, this faces the carport. So, and there's a cover between the house and the carport. So that's kind of obscuring the sun. The window right here backs onto the neighbor's house. And right there's a huge tree and some shrubbery. So it's hard for sunlight to get through there. So I'm working on the lighting. Hopefully this is better. But this is not supposed to be green. It's supposed to be golden. It's a golden yellow. But I did pick this up, but my brain completely, Although I do have my cute little brain stitch markers, which is almost ironic on this. You can see they're from Decor Noir. I don't know if Decor Noir is still around. I got these ages ago, but I love them, and I found them, and I was like, I need to use my brain stitch markers because I love them. And so I have 8 more rows of the repeat and then the crown shaping. So by next week I'll be able to show you a finished one. I've already informed my family that I'm not going to be mailing their Christmas gifts until after Christmas. And they're just sucking that up and being okay with it. What can you do? It's expensive to mail stuff to Canada, and I'm not going to stress out and try and get it there before Christmas when stress is bad. And they won't mind. So I'm almost on this one, and that will be the last of the hats for the nieces and nephews, so then I will have them all done. Yay! Another work in progress is I wrote it down. I'm gonna screw it up if I try to say something else. It's the Star Shower Cowl by Hilary Smith Calais. It's for Stacy, my sister-in-law. You've seen this before, but before it was not joined. So now it is joined. Again, I haven't gotten very far because, of course, this has wraps and turns and things, and my brain, no wrappy, no turny. Really, I mean, the best I can do is like dishcloths and stripy socks right now, or for some reason color work, but I'll explain that in a minute. So I have finished. So there's the opening. There's the neck opening, and this is supposed to kind of smoosh down like it's cowl necks. And I have officially joined in the round, but not by much. Here, I'll show you. Not by much. There's my join in the round. That's 3 repeats in, I believe, or something like that. But so I have 3 more repeats to go, and it's going to get progressively bigger. I have this much yarn left. The center is really smushy. And I have enough yardage, so I'm not worried about that. Oh, here you go. 2nd Avenue Swag. This is where my bag is from. Whee! It is an Etsy store. 2ndavenueswag.etsy.com. And they're awesome. I recommend them. This is out of Plucky. It's the Oxford base, which is merino cashmere, 75/25, and the color is 24 Blackbirds. It was a church mouse edition. I'm not sure if that means you can get it at the shop or at their thepluckyknitter.com or not. It says Plucky Knitter for Church Mouse Yarns and Tees. It may just be that you need to get this through Church Mouse, but I'm not sure. I don't actually know what that means. I don't. Someone could fill me in. That'd be nice. I picked it up at Church Mouse, that's why, because Stacy likes neutrals, and it's looking a lot more gray. It's actually closer to a black, but it is a gray. There you go. See, black, this color. So it'll be a great neutral for her to wear at work. And yeah, I'm enjoying it. It's just, again, brain power, no comprende. However, I will tell you what I do have the brain power for. Laying on the couch and watching my husband play Battlefront for hours, apparently. Star Wars Battlefront. Very entertaining to watch. I didn't think I'd enjoy it because, like, the premise is basically almost a first-person shooter. But it doesn't suck. Usually I'm not a big fan of the first-person shooters because they tend to lack storyline. But this one, pretty good. Pretty decent. So if you have a geeky husband or boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever, and they happen to like that kind of crap, then I recommend picking up Star Wars Battlefront, because it's fun. And it's fun to watch. Not like Dark Souls. I hated watching Dark Souls. God, that one sucked. No, seriously. It was boring. Maybe it was the fact that there was like no music and no talking, and it's really hard, so you just keep dying over and over again and redoing the same part. Husband loved it. I was ready to stab myself in the eye. So those are the 2 you've seen before. I have a Girl Cave bag currently in this one, which I've never used this bag before, so I figured, well, I'll give it a shot. And I'm mumbling to myself. I'm sorry, I didn't bring my water in here, and yeah, so you just get to suffer, like the rest of us. So, related to the review I will be doing momentarily, I started a pair of mittens. And it was basically my friend Pam had posted about this Billie Jane sale on the Facebook group for my knit group in Minnesota, who I miss horribly. Like, seriously. Horribly. I would go visit just to go to knit group. That's how much I miss them. I would fly to Minnesota, where I miss nothing but that group. I miss my friends, but that goes without saying. However, I'm just saying, like, it's not like I would go back and be like, I need to go to the Mall of America. Like, no. That would be the entire purpose of a visit, would be to go to knit group and eat at the diner, because that is an awesome diner. Okay, so Pam said that these mittens were on sale. So I was like, yes. Except I saw it like the day after, so I couldn't get any. And then I was like, but wait, I have this Billie Jane book to review, which I will be reviewing momentarily for you. And so I had looked through it earlier, and there were several mitts I wanted to knit. So I said, well, we should do an informal cyber knit along. And Jess, who's Kirby Bird, was like, yes, count me in. And she couldn't decide which one she was doing, and I was waffling on which one I was going to do. And subsequently, the mitten knitting has started. And this is how far I've gotten. It's the Girl with a Fabricated Heart, which I will show you in the book momentarily. I am doing it out of, I went stash diving. I'm going to be cold sheeping. I know there's been a lot of fluff or static about the idea of cold sheeping, because again, as an indie dyer, once everything's set up here and I can dye again, and we're flea free, because let's face it, I can't dye with fleas. Once I'm healthy, we're flea free, I get all the paperwork done, and I'm dyeing again. Cold sheeping is not exactly something dyers want to hear. I don't care. I really don't. If you need to cold sheep, cold sheep. I understand money pressures, and I understand the fact that you need to knit down your stash, because after moving from Minnesota to here and unpacking everything and still having more things come in, I'm like, no. I gotta knit some of this, because this is too much, okay? I don't want to move this much again. I'm fine moving all of these books. All of these are knitting books or magazines. Top shelf is knitting magazines. Bottom two are knitting and spinning. There may be even a weaving and a quilting book in there, but craft. This is craft. And then down here, see that full row right there? That's all hand spun. And then we've got sweaters worth and a sweater's worth to spin. So I have enough, okay? I am going to cold sheep. And if you need to cold sheep, you should cold sheep too. I don't care. There are enough people who knit and spin and who want birthday gifts and who break their cold sheeping to buy yarn that I'm not exactly concerned about anybody cold sheeping. And I think it's a misnomer to not support living within your means. Because honestly, I haven't been working, and that means that our expendable excess amounts of money are not as big as they used to be. So we need to live within our means, which means I don't need to buy any new yarn or fiber or whatever, maybe needles or whatever when I need them. But so if you want to cold sheep, I'm not gonna come out and be like, you're killing my business, or you're gonna kill my business. It doesn't matter. There's still gonna be people buying it. Anywho, that was my rant, because I've seen both sides of that fence and argument, and as a dyer, when I'm well and such, I don't think it's a problem. I think that even if 50% of the knitters of the world cold sheeped, there'd still be someone there to buy the stuff. So, whatever. Little rant over. Started my mitten, and the reasoning behind these mittens. Now, if you may know, I don't do mittens. You know why I don't do mittens? I was a smoker. And then I quit smoking for like a month last year and had a complete mental breakdown and started again. But now that my husband's back and we're all trying to get copacetic and I'm trying to get healthy again, I am back on the no smoking wagon. I can't show you my patch, it's on my back today, but I am on my second week now of no smoking. So I chew an asinine amount of gum, and I think that's why I cross stitch now, because when I knit, I worked in smoke breaks, and I didn't when I cross stitched, so now it makes sense to me. But that means I can have mittens, because before, if I was out doing things, I needed my fingers free to smoke, because otherwise you burn your gloves, which I've done many times, which is why I stopped wearing gloves and only wore fingerless mitts. That and your phone, whatever. I don't need my phone when I'm driving, because usually I am using the GPS or the Google, the iMap or whatever, because I still don't know this place that well. So I don't need to use it until I'm stopped, so I can pull off my mitt. But either way, so I'm making myself mittens. Mittens, because I don't have to worry about burning them, which smells and tastes horrible, by the way. I don't recommend it. And so I went stash diving. This bag is shedding onto the yarn. Intrigue. I went stash diving because, again, I'm going to try and knit down the stash, at least until SSK, because, Lord, I do not need more stash for yarn and fiber. I don't. Not that I won't take it. I just don't need to bring it in myself. That seems to be my rule right now. So I found this. This is Patent Croy socks, and it's old. You can tell by the label. That's some old school. In fact, I remember I was trying to knit knee highs out of this, and I screwed up the knee high, and I just threw the whole thing away, which is why I only have one ball. The other ball went into the sock. It was the Cuberts. And the thighs fit, and the foot, everything up until the foot fit, and then the foot was like weird, and I gave up and I threw it away because I was sad and such. But this is in the flax colorway, so 50-gram ball will get me to 2 mittens, and then they're really shedding. Got little bits of the inside on my, see, you can see it on my skein here. I'll show you the top because it doesn't seem to have any. And then I picked this out, and of my coveted stash. This is Soft Like Kittens, which is no longer around because, you know, Annette had hand issues and related to dying, and I understand. I will miss her colors. This is the Muscat, Muscat, M-U-S-C-A-T, in the, where's the base? Noodle sock, which is a 75/25 superwash merino nylon. I will have leftovers, which is good by me. I figured they'd do a high enough contrast. I'm doing the Girl with a Fabricated Heart. I am very far behind Pam, who apparently, even with a new puppy, can really bang her down. She's like that much further than I am. I wonder how Jess is doing. So, and apparently color work does not require brain power, mostly because it's like color by numbers or something for me. So, without further ado, I just want to do a little teensy-weensy review of the Spilly J Knits mittens. Hold on, I need to turn down the brightness on this or else it's gonna bunk it up. Which is $16.95 on Ravelry, I believe. Don't quote me. Can I get Ravelry up on my phone, or do I have to sign in? Because if I have to sign in, I'm not bringing it up. No, apparently I'm still okay. Let's see. Messages. I have a whole little thing. I should be better prepared. But you know you love me. Okay. There we go. Well, that isn't it. That doesn't tell me very much. You can buy the book on Amazon for $26.95, and it's a Prime eligible. You can buy it on Ravelry, which is the e-version, for $16.95 US. I like the e-versions. I'm getting more and more into e-versions just because you can see the shelves. You can see them. I'd have to put in another bookshelf, which I'm not opposed to, but once you've PCS'd across the country, you start thinking about these things just a bit more. So, for Spilly Jane knits, let me see here. If I work between Ravelry and the actual book, 2, 3, 6, 9. So there's like 13 patterns. I'm going to say 13. There might be more. I really should have written down stuff, but there you have it. Approximately 13 patterns. Here they are all laid out. Ta-da! The one I'm making is this one, but I will show it to you better. What can I say about this book? Well, I know that Spilly Jane Mitts retail for between $6 and $6.50. I had knit socks by her previously, which I really loved. I did L'Amour et l'Amort and the owl socks. The owl socks turned out too small for my mother, which was very sad. I haven't re-knit them yet. L'Amour et l'Amort worked fine for me. So I know I like her patterns. I like her patterns. Now at $6.50 per, the fact that you're getting 13 sets makes it an amazing value for the ebook. Even for the hard copy book, that's pretty good. I mean, it's cheaper, significantly cheaper just to buy the book. And the mittens are very cute. Now, she has the whole prelude of things like yardage. She has a really interesting way of dealing with ends in here that I thought was awesome. Recommended yarns, how to finish things, tutorials on different types of thumbs, how to change thumbs from being the straight up and down to being a gusset, which I think is very helpful. I have no problem with the straight up and down, but some people do. They always need a gusset, and I think it just depends on your hand or what you like and prefer. So the fact that that's in there is really nice. Now, I will say the charts and schematics are awesome because they're all for different sizes, like a small, medium, and large. The circumference of your hand and the length are taken into account. Now, my quibble, and maybe this is just me, I'm going to quibble. I'm going to start with a quibble, and then I'm going to work back into why she's awesome. But here's my one quibble, if I can get there. If my iPad will sync up fast enough. Okay, so here's the first pattern. It's cute, right? Okay? Yeah? That one's cute. That's called the Plain Blue Mitts with Peasant Thumb. And then if we go... Oh, come on. Then if we go to the second pattern, it's the Plain Brown Mitts with Gusset Thumb. And I do appreciate that these are basically trying to show you different thumbs and different ways to stripe things and blah, blah, blah. Here's my problem. I wouldn't need to change colors with that. I would just throw on some self-striping sock yarn and go. And maybe the gussets would be screwed up, but on the Peasant Thumb it wouldn't be screwed up. And quite frankly, if you look at the first white one, it's a shortened row compared to the green and the gold and the blue. So for me, those two are kind of moot because there's no way I would ever do that many ends to myself on purpose. If I'm going to use scraps, I'm going to make barn raising squares or little things, or I'm not going to try and do these mittens. I'm just going to grab some self-striping sock yarn and go to town because I have enough. I'd just knit it out of self-striping and then I wouldn't worry about the changes, right? Changing. So those two patterns for me were a little bit of a fall on the face. I thought maybe one, but two was a bit much for me. I think. And you could have just shown the two with different thumbs. If I have a quibble with the book, that's my quibble. Everything else is pretty much awesome and up to par. There are lots of awesome patterns. If I can get to them. There. There are some really highly coveted patterns in here. I know that the cupcake is in here. I'm not sure where it is. Okay, so we have the nougat, which is cute. It's very simple. I would do that one. See, and for some reason I'd have no problem with the end issue on these, but for to just do stripes, it seems way too complex. And this is a woman, small, medium, large. It comes with the charts, and each chart is for each different size, so that's really nice. As I really like when they do separate charts, because then I don't have to make sure I follow the lines, because when they do lines in between the different sizes, it completely, my head just, Midtown is very cute. Very simple, geometric. I like simple and geometric. I really do. This is taking forever. You've got your gnomes for people who like gnomes. I am not a gnome person, but look, you have gnomes. You can have gnomes. Good for you. Some people like gnomes. I don't. They remind me of Chucky. I went through a gnome phase that lasted about a year, and then I was done, and I'm never going back. Codfish. Codfish is cute. I could see that being very masculine. Like, I'd knit those for my husband if he wanted them. He fancies himself a fisherman, but he really isn't. I've never seen him fish. I'm told he has fished. I know he has fished. Pictures exist of this stuff, but I've never seen him fish, so I know he wants to. Eventually, we'll just get stuff to fish, and then he can go fishing, because he does want to fish. It's just he doesn't fish. He doesn't have a rod. The cupcake mittens, which are very highly coveted, but look really intense to me, okay? Look at how many ends. Just think of the ends, okay? That's the way my brain works, though. It's like I don't want to make that many ends. Although the how to deal with your ends in this book is amazing. I honestly would buy the book just for that tidbit if it doesn't already exist on the interwebs. There's that one is called Decadence. So you get really pretty mitts. It's not that you don't. It's subjective to style, like very geometric. I like that one too. Like, I mean, just because, and that's Petoskey. Just, oh. Supposed to remind you of something about Lake Michigan, which makes me think of Coggy. Coggy should knit these. That's what she should do. She's very into Michigan. Or the mitten. These are the ones I'm doing, the girl with the fabricated heart, which clearly I love. I love that it's a bust of a, like, pretty much bald goddess with a heart. The girl with the prefabricated heart. There's a whole little write-up on it, and I'm not going to read it to you, but it's pretty cool. And of course, different size mittens, blah 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 blah. Like, seriously, half of this book is charts, which I appreciate, because that means that there's charts for the small, medium, and large. Some of them don't have the small, they're just medium and large, but that's also fine. There's penguins. I'm not into penguins. If you're into penguins, there's Bully for You. Now, the strange one that strikes me as I really shouldn't like it, or I should be indifferent to it at best, would be, those are cute. Abenaki Park, it looks like a wrought iron. Really not very interesting, though. The ones I probably shouldn't like, but I do. Where's a good picture of them? Is that seriously the best picture? Some of the pictures do leave me a little, huh? Like, this is the money shot for these. I think it could be a better picture, personally. But those are wheat sheaths, and it's called Wheatfield. And Saskatchewan is like the land of wheat. It's wheat, wheat, and more wheat. All wheat, all the time. So I kind of want to do them just because, and it's kind of like being at home. I never thought I'd miss Saskatchewan. I never did. And I don't think I do so much as I miss my family. and being able to go places, because whole nother rant. And Spilly Jane is from Ontario, so she's Canadian and she's awesome via default of being Canadian. But a lot of her stuff, like, this is supposed to remind you of southwestern Ontario with lots of wheat. Or Saskatchewan with ample amounts of wheat as well. Pretty much anywhere anywhere you can find the prairies, you're going to find wheat. There's also, and I can show you these because there's actually no pattern to them, but she puts these in the back. See, it's just plain, it's got your thumb hole marked out. It's in case you want to make your own patterns. And there are larges, mediums, and smalls, and it tells you how many stitches to the inch. It gives you gussets, and then different sizes for thumb gussets that you may want to throw in, if they're just plain stripes or if they are the lice pattern. I don't like the fact that it's called lice because that makes me think of fleas, but that's my own personal problem. Overall, if you like mittens or if you like knitting things that are color work, and for some reason it's very easy for me mentally because it's just like you just follow the colors. It's like there's no yarn overs, knit two together, repeat shit. So they really work for me for mindless knitting, or if you're looking for something to start your color work career, if you're looking for color work to try out for the first time. Mittens are really easy. They're not a lot of investment in terms of yarn. You learn a lot about your gauge and how to do the floats properly. I just recommend the mittens. And that is a great steal of a price for that many mittens by Spilly Jane. Like I said, they're between $6 and $6.50 regular a piece. So, and that may be between the socks as well. I think the socks are $6 and the mittens are $6.50. I'm not 100% sure, but I do know that it's $16.95 for the ebook or the $26.95 for the hardcover. You are making significant savings, and it's totally worth it because unless you live in Florida, sorry, Aileen, unless you live in Florida, Aileen, I'm going to say your name wrong every time, Bello Socks. Unless you live in Florida, and maybe even the Floridians do, I don't know, but if you're here in the north or further north, if you're in Canada, pretty much anywhere, or if you're in the northern half of the US, or if you're in, Finland or Germany, like Schnuffy, you're going to need mittens. So mittens are always a safe bet, and they're great to give away. So highly recommend that book. Clearly, I'm knitting one from it. So, I need to do the drawing for the brioche along. So you're going to have to put up with a little more me fumbling with technology because that's how I do. But I know we have to do this, and then I'll show you my cross stitch. No. Quit pressing buttons you don't want. That's me talking to myself. I say, you should hear me talk to the pets when I'm all by myself. I'm very kind, but seriously, I think they're people and that they'll respond to me, and they don't unless they want something, because let's face it, that's how they roll. Okay, I need random.org. I was the first post. And there are, how many posts? There are 14 posts. That's not a lot of people. People, get in with this stuff, okay? Seriously. But more for those that win. Okay, so the first one I will draw for is the Awilda, AWILDA.B pattern. I know she's watching. Hi. And there's a coupon code till the end of December for a pattern. Hold on. See, I should write those things down, but I forget about them when I'm writing things down, and then I suck. Because that is who I am. Okay. Between today and Boxing Day, which is December 26th, so get your butts in gear, use the coupon code THANKS in capitals, and it'll give you 50% off of all her patterns. Which is pretty awesome. So whoever wins this, now I have to go back to the thingy with all the people. All the peoples. So if you want to buy any of her patterns, the Doctor Who Companion series, which are awesome, now would be the time because there's a sale. But also, okay, gonna hit generate. Results. Not sure. There we go. Number 3. Number 3. So, Awilda, you can contact them. They could contact you. They could contact me, and I will put them in touch with you. Who's number 3? 1, 2, 3. Liberty Gibbet. And I'm not going based off the numbers. I'm going a number up. So, although it would have been Flibberty Gibbet either way, because I'm going by the third post after me, just so you know. Okay, now for the Knitting in Color Sparkle Bomb. I'm calling it a Sparkle Bomb. It's hot pink and to black, 480 yards of superwash merino nylon stellina. It comes with a little shawl pattern. It's awesome. I'd be jealous of the person who gets this. Generating. It's number 14. So let's see. 3. Which is also Flibberty Gibbet. So, Flibberty Gibbet, you get to contact me too, and I will be sending that off to you. Do understand that during these times of Christmas, it may take me longer to get to the post office than normal, because I am still not used to where the post office is. Here, that is the disclaimer. But you have won, so contact us. Contact everybody. Just contact the world. And well done. Lovely, lovely vintage prims. Flibberty Gibbet kind of went to town. Not even gonna lie to you, totally went to town. Okay, so pointy things. Pointy things at 37 minutes, which means I've talked way too much already and I need to finish up. Radio. So, I have 1 you've seen and 2 you have not. I'm also working on an ornament right now, but I forgot to bring it in. But you saw the fairy and the gingerbread man. I'm making the Rudolph currently. So you've seen this one before. It's one my mom got me like last year. It's called Ravens. I'm calling it Crows. It's a Mill Hills Buttons and Bead series from Autumn. It's at least a year old. But it includes everything. And then you can buy the frame. The frames are like 15 bucks, but you can buy the frame and it will fit the appropriate size. So this is, I'm putting the white thing behind because if I don't, you can see through it. It's a perforated paper, which I'm really enjoying. Usually you use this for, well, these and like ornaments and such. I have finished this portion. All the little blank bits at this point that are in the top half are where beads go, except for there's a couple of leaves I have to fill in, like these big splotches. I have my birdies in. I've started to do the bottom. So I just have basically this portion left to do, and then I go back and I bead everything. So I've gotten pretty far on that. Kind of, I don't have a rotation. I've been watching a lot of FlossTube because I'm waiting in between other people like Knit Girls or Round the Twist, or you know, my usual arsenal of podcasts is not as big because some are on hiatus, some are recording right now, and more bully for them, I understand. It's just, I've significantly gone down in the amount of knitting podcasts. So I've picked up a few FlossTubes that I like watching, which is probably not good for me because it just makes me want to cross stitch more, and that really bites into my knitting time. But like I said, it's helping with the smoking cessation, if you will. Whatever. Okay. See this? See this? Do you know the okay. There's like 5 people who know what this means. This is a Heaven and Earth design. or a head for short, as most people will call it. It's a full coverage piece. I'm doing it on 22 1/1, so I'm using one strand of teeny tiny weeny whiny floss, and I'm doing one cross for each stitch, and this is like nuts. This is a form of psychosis. I'm pretty sure this is, but I love it. It's fun. There are 86 colors in this full coverage piece, and this is like 5 days worth of work. As you can see, I bit the bullet and I decided to use the washable marker. I did do a test piece to make sure that it would wash off. In cold water, you like run it under cold water and agitate it a bit, and then it like comes away. And really, I only had the courage to do it because of Bev Palette PC, who does it quite often, and so she gave me the courage to do this. And I'm continuing to be a little waffly on it, but it is helping. So this one is called the Mini Hrumpf, which I couldn't find on the website because I don't know how I can't remember how to spell Hrumpf. I'm not sure if there's a U or what, but okay. So there's like 20 colors in here. Not even joking you. There's at least 20 colors in here, and they're like single pops, but it's going to be great. It's an owl, so it's going to be this wide, because this is actually the last point. So it's not going to be huge wide, but it is going to be long. It's about 20, 18, 17, 16, something inches long. So like it goes to there. So this is going to take forever, but it's interesting watching the progress, and I really like it. And I think I should have picked something that didn't have so much confetti in it, perhaps, because that is kind of mind-numbing when you have like 5 stitches per 10-inch square. So each square is 100 stitches. So I've done several hundred already. It just doesn't seem like much in the grand scheme of things. I've got my needle minder from Gina's Unique Boutique, which I love. And the last thing I'm going to show you is a secret. See, I keep everything for the secret in here, and then I hide it. So my husband can't see it because it's going to be a Christmas present for him, and he doesn't know that yet. And I don't think you're not supposed to show the pattern, and it didn't come with a picture. Like, it didn't print out the picture in advance, so you're just going to have to work with me here. It's a sampler. So samplers usually have bandings between things. It looks really pretty. This one is, because apparently this year I'm going with the theme. The theme being, of course, Star Wars, because the new movie comes out, and I have never seen him this excited except for when we got married. So I'm running with that. I got him some figures. We play Armada, Star Wars Armada, which is a tabletop game where you get you can get your own Corvette, Millennium Falcon, and I think they have the Millennium Falcon now, I don't remember, and Star Destroyer, yeah. So I got him a Space Potato, which I believe is a frigate, and the Home, something Home, you can play as Admiral Akbar. And I think I might get him one of the booster packs as well, because I have a coupon, and coupons are great. I'm also going to go out and get tickets to the Star Wars. I tried to buy them online, but the theater he wants to go to isn't selling them online, so I actually have to bust butt and go down there. So get those, give them to him early, and that's basically going to be his Christmas. And this says, "Bless this wretched hive of scum and villainy." And then right below it here, it's the skyline of Mos Eisley, or something like that, I believe it's called. And then there's like a row of flowers in here and here and above here, and it's just going to look really cute when it's done. I'm just doing it really quick on 14 count white Aida. The other one's on 22 count Hardanger Aida, and of course the 14 count perf paper. Also did a little thing that I didn't bring in to show you. Anywho, so this is on my 8x8 frame. I have all the DMC colors. It was not hard to kit up. This is from it's an Etsy site. It's an instant download on Etsy. Why don't they mark their stuff? Let's see. That should be in my Etsy, right? I can actually show you the finished one if I look this up. My God, this is long. Me, my purchases. Boopity doopity boo boo. Boopity boopity boo. Come on. Here we go. It is from Hardcore Stitch Core. So core spelled C-O-R-P-S. I think it was $5. And you can stitch it on anything. I went with 14 count Aida because that's what I had laying around. That's what it looks like when it's done. So that is what it will look like when it is finished, and then I'll just frame it for him and he will really enjoy it. Stitch on 14 count, it'll be 6 1/8 inches wide and 6 3/8 inches high. And it's an instant download on Etsy. It's the Bless This House Mos Eisley edition. It is really well charted. I love the charts. You get several different kinds of charts. It's very much similar to the way the Frosted Pumpkin does theirs, in that it gives you a colored one, it gives you one with colors and the symbols, and it gives you one in just the symbols. And then they also have two different, woo, so you can't actually read very much on there, but it tells you the design sizes based on the count you do. It tells you what kind of background colors you should pick for your Aida, and then it gives you two floss choices, one for the bright and one for pastels, and then some recommendations. They also have a link to the conversion chart for anchor flosses because this is all charted in DMC. Either way, it's kind of awesome. Now, I can only stitch on it when he's not at home, so I have to be stealth. Basically, I get duty days to do this, and quite frankly, the last one I pretty much spent sleeping, so I'm hopeful to get that done by Christmas. I don't think it'll be a problem because it is a smaller piece. I'm really enjoying it. I am debating doing the Stitch Mania, which is a Facebook group, M-A-Y-N-I-A. Stitch Mania start year or something. I don't remember what the acronym for it is, but basically you start a new project every month. Some people are starting one every day for 364 or 65 projects. I'm just like, that's nuts. I'm not doing that. But I will do a new one a month because right now I have the stuff. I can easily do it, and it requires me to buy nothing, which is awesome. I also want to finish up the stuff I've got going on, but I think I might do it because it sounds like fun, and I can't spin. I can't. I have a mental block that does not allow me to remove fiber from its protective zones until the fleas are done. I can't. It scares me. In fact, knitting scares me around fleas, which is why I'm like, I can't. Like when I knit, I have to like have a bubble. So, in cross-stitching, everybody leaves me alone. Like no pets want to be in my lap while I'm cross-stitching. So, I feel safer doing that. So really, it's about getting rid of fleas. But now that this has been like an hour long, I should probably let y'all go so I can get back to crafting and laundry and all that other fun stuff. Because, you know, that's what you do. Lots of laundry. Laundry, laundry, laundry. Vacuum, vacuum, vacuum. I will try and record next week. Barring any mishaps, I will be recording next week. I'm not sure which day. And I will continue to record weekly, hopefully. If I'm going to miss one, hopefully I don't. I'll try and keep you posted better on the Ravelry group. Please do join the Ravelry group. It's Yarnivorous on Ravelry. And this is me signing off. Bye!